How are you?
Well, it's cold as crap here in North Carolina. In fact, we're expecting anywhere from 5 to 12 inches of snow this weekend, and I'm not liking it, Neil.
5 to 12 inches of snow. Oh my gosh. I don't think we're getting snow in Mentor. I hope not. We've gotten too much already. You had an ice
Yeah,
storm. Well, I get it
yeah,
was I didn't check the forecast. Please no more. But I didn't
yeah. No
think you
kidding.
ever thought moving to North Carolina you'd be shoveling snow.
Well, it's happened here a couple of times, but I've been here for since 1980, and it's only a couple times.
Well, we'll warm up soon. So our topic today, which is interesting, is the after-tax reality gap. Why your lifestyle and your balance sheet don't agree. What is the after-tax reality gap, Alan?
Well, it's really something that people don't understand this, but it's the disconnect between what your balance sheet says you're worth and what your lifestyle actually costs you after taxes, fees, and obligations. On paper, wealth looks strong, but in real life, your flexibility quietly shrinks.
And people don't plan for anything, Alan. You talk about this all the time.
Yeah, they don't they don't understand how tax. It's not how much money you have in retirement; it's how much money you have after taxes.
So why does this gap widen as people become more successful?
Well, just like I said, taxes for one thing, but taxes, surtaxes, healthcare costs are out of sight. Debt service and complexity scale faster than income. Lifestyle adjusts upward automatically. I mean, inflation, whatever. Uh, but Paul, after-tax cash flow becomes tighter without anyone noticing right away. It's you don't notice it, as soon as you do it, but reflect over the years and where'd all my money go?
Right. How can someone be wealthy on paper but feel financially constrained?
Well, one of the things I tell people, these guys, especially with all their money in the market, they go, "Man, I just lost $100,000 today." I said, "You haven't lost anything." What do you mean? I said, "Did you cash it out?" Well, no. I said, "You haven't lost anything." But when wealth is concentrated in illegal, taxable, and restricted assets, you may own a lot, but assessing it, of course, triggers your penalties, your taxes, or bad timing. So your freedom feels limited. It's just like when I explain sequence of returns risk. It's when you go out to retire and you've got a downswing in your portfolio in the first 2 to 3 years of a 10 or 20 year period as compared to the last 2 to 3 years of a 10 or 20 year period. You're going to be out of money anywhere from the fifth to the ninth year. It's called sequence of returns risk, and people are not prepared for it.
What role do taxes play in distorting the true picture of wealth?
Well, one of the things I ask people, I say, you know, why do you contribute to a 401k? And they said, well, it's a tax deduction. I said, no, it's a tax compounder. Taxes reduce not just income, but choice. The more income and assets are exposed to taxation, the fewer options you have, and you need to know what to do about them and how to use them. Net worth ignores this entirely.
What's a common mistake that makes the after tax gap worse over time?
Well, like I said, Neil, you've got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, make one. If you have one, make it, update it yearly. But planning based on gross numbers instead of usable cash flow is completely off track. People track returns and balances, but ignore how much of that wealth is actually deployable without friction, without taxes or other things that come along with it.
How do you close the after tax reality gap, Alan?
Again, by planning around control, not just accumulation. This means managing, of course, tax planning exposure, improving liquidity on your own terms, not the government's terms, and aligning lifestyle decisions with after-tax reality, not paper wealth. People have no idea about this.
Right. They look at what they have in the bank. They look at specifically the other and not know what they're going to owe out Uncle Sam, especially if they're a business. They don't look at long term. You're not going to make this kind of money after you retire. It's going to be a
Well,
lot less. And how do I make sure? Well, yeah, I made a lot of money in the market. You might pay most of that to Uncle Sam, then having a proven strategy that's going to earn money for you. So,
it's tax free.
yeah, it's tax free
I
because
get a kick out of people. Um, I ask them. I said, look at your 401k, look at your stock portfolio, and whose is that? They said, what? They get mad at me, Neil. I said, whose is that? I said, you got a partner in this. If you got a 401k, that's taxed as ordinary income, and you've got like $1 million. Well, you've only got $600,000 left, and that's being conservative if you're in the highest tax bracket, because some states have state tax, others don't.
And that's the thing, having the team of professionals to tell you where to go and plan out things are so important. And it's time to start as we're almost done with January.
Absolutely, Neil. Anybody can call me at 910-551-1046. My email is strategicwealth, the number zero, at gmail.com. And my website is www.strategicwealthstrategies.com, that has a wealth of information. Now, I don't charge for my financial consultations. It's all about education, and people need to know all these financial strategies, uh, because I teach them to think outside the box of conventional financial planning. And they're leaving a lot of money on the table because they're not educated, Neil.
All right. That was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.